Hi everybody, it is Monday afternoon and we are going to take a brief tour around the yard. I've got some flowers blooming that I want to make sure I get on video before they're done, but it's really hot out here today. It's almost 100 degrees or 38 degrees Celsius, and that is miserable hot. So we want to look at these flowers and then we're going to go back inside. Maybe I'll get out on the boat later this evening once it cools down. But the phlox are now really going strong. That's these bright pink ones we've got in front of us. The purple coneflowers are still going. Last video I shot, they were just starting to open up, so we've really got a lot of the coneflowers going now. Our tiger lilies are finally starting to open. We'll see some better examples of these where we can get up a little bit closer to them. Butterfly bushes are starting to go, so we're seeing plenty of butterflies. Unfortunately, one of my cats, little Princess Sassafras, got a hummingbird the other day. So I'm not sure whether it was one of the residents or it was a passerby, but we're down one hummingbird. And now that all the stuff is blooming, there's plenty of natural forage for the hummingbirds and the butterflies to get to while they're out here. So we're seeing lots of them. So much so, in fact, I can hear one chirping and squeaking at me right now. He's probably upset that I'm standing so close to the feeder. So coming over here, get out of the sun just a little bit. Over here we've got more of these tiger lilies. These are very similar to a lily called the Turk's cap lily, but they are actually slightly different. Not exactly sure what those differences are, but there is a slight difference between these and the ones that are called Turk's caps. Black-eyed Susans or Rudbeckia are going strong. These are the Maryland state flowers. Hostas are still in bloom, but they're pretty much winding down, wrapping up. I can hear Squeaker somewhere. There he is. I hear you. You coming over to say hi? Is it midday catnapping time? Alright. Get you inside in a minute. So, still got daylilies going. We'll have a look at some of these real quick. Balloon flowers are going really well. Got some new stuff planted over here, and it has been so hot and sunny, we're actually trying to keep some of that stuff shaded with the umbrella. But these daylilies are blooming. I really like these a lot. We've got those huge ones over here. We've already looked at these before, so we're not going to walk through there to get to them again. More of the tiger lilies going. These yellow ones we have not looked at closely before. They're awesome looking. Love those. We did look at these before, but they're worth having another look at. And then these are also new. Those were not in the last video we did in here in the yard. Hydrangeas Blooming. And let's see what else we got going on, if there's anything worth looking at over here. No, more of the tiger lilies. That's the main thing. I want to make sure get a good look at the tiger lilies before they're done. We have those just everywhere. You can see here's another one here. Got a whole group of them up there. We're not even going to walk up there because it's, again, just more of these tiger lilies. And I honestly don't think there's anything on the other side of the yard that's worth going over and having a look at. And the driveway is the same. I did want to point out our Rose of Sharon are blooming, though. You can see all these. Now, we don't get a ton of sun in the yard here, so we don't get really good, vigorous flowering on the Rose of Sharon like you will see if it was out in the middle of somebody's front yard where it's just getting sun blazing on it all day. The Rose of Sharon really get a lot of flowers on them. Ours just don't. But they are really pretty. And for those of you who did not know, Rose of Sharon is a hibiscus. And if you really look at the flower itself, it's just a small version of the hibiscus. We do have a hibiscus that should be blooming within the next month or so, and that is basically a flower that's more or less identical to that, except it opens up like dinner plate size. They're just enormous. So that is technically a hibiscus though. So the Rose of Sharon are going. Never have really found a home for that piece of wood I brought home from the reservoir. It was in the driveway, but then it got backed over a little bit and broken, so I moved it over to here, and that's just kind of where it's ended up staying. I see you. See, it's a trap. He knows when he's looking cute like that, I have to stop and pet him. Meow, meow, meow. I see you. Everybody sees you. All right, you gonna walk with us? Come on, get up. Get up. Come on. We're going this way. Come on. He's working. There he goes. All right, come on. All right, let's have a quick look over here. We will walk up to the top. Actually, I want to look at some of these daylilies up here. We've got some really good looking ones. So that yellow one is fairly new. I think that got planted last year. And then these, I've actually got these on video before, but they're totally worth coming up here and looking at again. I just think these are fantastic looking. Really, really great color. I think these are my favorite daylilies so far this year. Really, really great color. I like that a lot. Boy, judging by that breeze that's picking up all of a sudden, we might be getting a little bit of an afternoon thunderstorm. It's pretty much a daily possibility this time of year. More Rose of Sharon, more Rose of Sharon, Rose of Sharon, Rose of Sharon. Again, we don't get a ton of sun, so we don't get a huge amount of flowers on them, but we do get the pretty hibiscus flowers all around. Hydrangeas finally blooming. That bloomed when we moved in, and then it sort of stopped for many years, and now we're finally getting some blooms on that one again. And likewise, there's a little hydrangea back here that has been struggling to hang on for all these years, and we're finally seeing flower on that one too. Wind chimes. Now this bed, we've actually been running the sprinkler on and watering because it's just so hot and dry. We haven't had any significant rain in, I don't know, weeks. So everything over here is kind of past in its prime. The hostas are done flowering. The astilbe are done flowering. That's really all I can think of that really flowers over here. And the rest of the year is just going to be sort of hosta greenery. And flower spikes that need to get deadheaded. You know, you see all these dry, dead flower spikes. All that stuff's going to need to get deadheaded. All these hosta flowers are going to need to get deadheaded. And it doesn't look like we've got anything new happening over here. We do have a new top of a tree lying in the yard. It's the top of that tree right here that broke off. That whole chunk came down. So we've got more light over on our potter's bench than we should, and all our stuff over there is getting burned up in the sun, so I'm gonna have to put some kind of trellis or something over there. But we're gonna have to get this taken up pretty soon here. Give you an idea of its actual dimensions. Yeah, it's a pretty good size chunk of wood. It's basically the equivalent of a tree. It's just the top part of it. Have a look at what this looks like. I haven't actually even walked over here and looked at this yet. Yeah, you can see it's all rotten in the middle. Split right at the crotch of the tree up there. So we're waiting on our tree guy. I've already contacted him. He's booked up all the rest of this week, and I told him quite frankly, this is not in the way of anything. It's not bothering anything. It dropped and fell straight to the ground. It didn't even break any of my smaller trees around here. So this is really nothing for me more than an eyesore. And if it's going to take him a couple of weeks before he can get around here and do that, that's fine with me, because I'll get a good deal on it when he actually does come and remove it. So that's it. That's pretty much what's going on in the yard at the moment. It's not too terrible once you get out of that blazing sun. I might actually try to get out on a boat this afternoon after all. So as I've said before, from here on out, the yard tours are going to be, you know, pretty much less and less impressive with each passing tour, because everything is more or less finishing up. Now if you touch these things, you will get pollen on your hands, and if I wipe that on my clothes, it will never ever come out of my clothes. So I now have to go inside and wash my hand and get all that pollen off of there, or it'll be in my clothes forever. All right, everybody, there you go. There was our impromptu blazing hot wilting garden yard tour. So make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss anything I got coming up. You never know what it's going to be with me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon in the next one.